Am I the asshole for giving my ex-wife a large amount of money I won despite the anger of my girlfriend? I recently won a fuck you amount of money. I won't say exactly how much, but it's in the millions. It's enough to change the life of myself and my family. My ex-wife is the mother of my 2 kids. She is an amazing woman and good to the bone. We divorced 6 years ago because I had an affair with my current partner. I was in a low place in my life and I fucked up. She was in incredible pain, but like a fucking saint, she allowed me to still see our kids who mean the world to me, allowed our divorce to be as pain-free as possible. She was actually the first person I phoned after my mom and pops after I found out I won the lottery. She was pleased for me, joked that I could take the kids on a world-round trip, and that was that. Nothing else. As soon as I won, I knew I wanted to give her a significant amount, and I feel like this is some small, tiny way I can show her that I'm not a complete fuck-up. She deserves to know that I care despite my mistakes. She also works a shitty job in the public library, which pays her peanuts. She would actually be able to pursue her hobbies this way, give our kids a better life between us. I haven't discussed this with my ex yet, but long story short, when I told my girlfriend, she was livid, screaming that I'm disrespecting her, accusing me of still being in love with my ex. My girlfriend is threatening to break up with me, and to be honest, I'm feeling incredibly relieved over the threats. I don't plan on changing my plans, but am I the asshole?
In high school, I was friends with this girl named Sarah. One day, she caught me trying to steal $50 from her during our group project. She requested the teacher not to work with me. I got very mad because she could have just talked it out. Back then, I was an angry and volatile person. So what follows is, well, nothing I'm too proud of. I ended up spreading rumors about her that she had Marfan syndrome, which isn't true, and that she's a racist Trump supporter. After I did this, no one wanted to be her friend. We went to a small high school. She literally had no one. I even turned her best friend against her and made up a bunch of stuff that she never even said. I tried to make her everyday life as difficult as possible. In the end, I put a photo of her Photoshop with her abuser in the yearbook who doesn't attend our high school. From what I heard, she cried and cried when she saw it. She knows I did it because I signed my name at the bottom. I also made a bunch of Tumblr posts talking trash about her and she saw all of them. Shortly after this, she went rogue. She packed up, cut everyone off, and moved far, far away to another major city. This was about 6 years ago. She still has me blocked on all social media to this day. Recently, I found out through my former English teacher that she's a law student and I was thinking about messaging her. Since high school, I discovered that I'm bipolar and I want to reach out to her and see how she's doing and tell her about my diagnosis. A mutual says that I shouldn't reach out and that Sarah specifically asked them not to reveal her whereabouts or what she's doing to me. This really stung because that was 6 years ago and it shouldn't still bother her. I feel like I should have the opportunity to express myself and my diagnosis. I feel like while what I did was wrong, it should be water under the bridge now. Would I be the asshole to contact the girl I bullied in high school?
I'm an asshole for leaving my now ex-boyfriend. We met 3 years ago and we were best friends. It wasn't until March of 2021 that we started dating. I never had any worries about him cheating on me because I knew he was loyal and I could trust him. Or so I thought. This girl came into his life. They met September 2020 and became good friends really quick. Before we started dating, she would constantly flirt with him and try so hard to get his attention. We all had a big group of friends who knew this boy, and I had a thing for each other. The girl made me so uncomfortable because the boy I was now dating told me they had a past together. I was completely unaware of this. She sent him pictures and continued to do everything to get his attention. He started sleeping on the phone with her and always talking to her alone, knowing how uncomfortable I was about it. I begged and cried for him to block her, for only him to tell me to shut up because they were just friends. And I had to deal with it. It got to the point where I didn't care anymore. I treated him how he treated me. I ended things with him because I couldn't take it anymore. So, would I be the asshole in this situation? And guys, you guys can always submit stories in my Instagram DM. Thank you.
I've been married to my husband Thomas for 6 years. He has a chronic heart condition that made him suffer for years. We have 2 kids together and he adores them but couldn't be with them all the time or do normal activities together due to his condition. I work to be able to pay for rent, expenses, and medical bills, which is the hardest. It's been like this for years. Thomas's health is greatly declining and we recently were able to get him a device to improve his heart function, but it's not a long-term solution. Lately, Thomas has been asking me or the kids to sleep in bed with him. Before that, he used to sleep alone for medical reasons, including using his catheter or having medical devices in his hand and chest. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks and said he missed me and the kids, although I was with him often. Last night, he was talking to me about what the kids told him they wanted to become when they grow up. He took his time to talk because this was a highly emotional moment for him. He kept telling me that he knew he wasn't going to witness how our kids will turn out and what they will become when they grow up. He said he'd be lucky if he could attend their next birthday, which I admit could be an exaggeration on his part, but I let him vent out what's been bothering him. He then started talking about us and asking me what I would do if he passed away. Those questions I couldn't find an easy answer for, but he proceeded to ask if I was going to start over with someone new. He pulled my face close to his and said he wanted me to promise to never date anyone after him no matter what. I don't know why, but I froze in my place. He kept looking at me and telling me to promise him in front of our kids. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel hesitant. I had a very odd feeling and something told me not to do it, especially not when he decided to get the kids involved. I pulled away and assured him that he's the love of my life and everything I care about as well as our children. He got upset, saying I was avoiding his request and said he didn't expect me to even hesitate, let alone refuse to promise. I calmly explained how heavy his words were, but he said I probably had no problem seeing and dating someone else and might as well get the kids a new dad. I swore I never forced my kids to call someone else dad, and he flat out called me a liar to my face. This made me speechless. He loudly told me to get out of the room. I tried to get him to calm down, but he started yelling at me to stop talking to him after I made it clear that he didn't mean much to me. He said he's gonna make the kids promise that if I ever meet someone new, then they should cut me out of their lives and stay with his family. I was in shock and I called him unreasonable for thinking this was an acceptable thing to do to our kids. He said I should be happy the kids will live with their grandparents and not some guy and get married to. He kept insulting me until I broke down crying. He asked me to leave the room and threatened to pull his cannula if I stayed. I left because I didn't want him to get himself hurt over an argument. I felt so bad to the point where I wish I said yes to his promise if I knew that he was gonna react this way. Everyone keeps telling me to have some grace and be patient because Thomas is dealing with so much right now, but they keep forgetting that I'm struggling too. I'm not sure if I can take it anymore. What should I do?
Am I the asshole for outing my ex to my friend after he cheated on me? I, female, have been dating my ex, male, for 2 months, when things started to get a little bit suspicious. When summer started, we had to do long distance for a month because he would go and visit his grandparents in another city. He had a lot of friends there, so I never questioned his late responses to my texts. One day, I wake up to a huge text from him confessing that he had been cheating on me for the whole month that he was away, not with one but 2 people at the time. He called me all kinds of names for not figuring out his sexuality, even though he never told me anything about it. I was heartbroken, not knowing where all this hatred for me had came from. So, I told my friends everything and made them promise not to tell anyone. Apparently, one of them started texting others, and now I'm getting texts from people calling me names for supposedly outing my boyfriend, when all I really did was just tell my friends about my heartbreak. So, am I the asshole for outing my ex to my friend after he cheated on me? You guys can also submit stories on my Instagram DM. Thank you.
Hey guys, let's do my first time at Hookah Lounge. So me and my homegirl have been out this day, and I guess we were looking for an after movie. Y'all know Hookah Lounge don't close until super late at night, so we decided to go there. Mind you, we're pre-gaming in the car, so I had brought like my little thing that had, I think it was like Jack Daniels, something that I used to drink, Jim Beam I used to drink, and we went to the Hookah Lounge. Mind you, this is a Hookah Lounge that's downtown. So when I walked in, it was this like Arab man, and like the whole place had like Indian food, and it was like this really big guy that was sitting on the side who was the DJ. Mind you, they're all cool. It was cool vibes, but we could tell that like this Hookah Lounge was not made for our age demographic. It was made for like the 28 to 35. I'm still feeling cool, but I don't really know yet. So we're sitting there, we're vibing. He keeps walking past, giving us like extra of the little whatever the thing is called that you put on the top. So I end up like halfway through having to go to the restroom. So I'm like, all right, I'll be back. Y'all, why would I go to the restroom? I think they live in the Hookah Lounge. Like the person that owns it actually lives there, because it was a shower in the bathroom that the customers go through, and it was a crock pot next to the toilet. So I'm in my head thinking, we better not order food here. And I hope while I'm gone, she didn't order no food here, because the crock pot, so I end up leaving out. We end up staying there until it closed. We ended up getting out like super late, so we only had like an hour to like chill. So towards the end of it, we're sitting with him. I found out his name is Ray, and he's showing us like pictures of him on this yacht and all these girls, and he's like, yeah, if you guys ever want to come on the boat, like y'all can come with us. Me and my homegirl just looking at each other like, this man plays so much. You got a rental and that's okay, but why are you thinking for us right now? So he's just doing his whole little spiel. His homeboy Ray, who's still on the DJ, is like, what songs y'all like? Next time y'all come, y'all gotta let me know what you like. I didn't know you didn't like this. So they're cool. We have a nice conversation. I ended up not going back because I had thought they had closed, and my homegirl went not too long ago, or like drove past it, was like, Ray's still there, and we had a whole laughing session. So that was my first experience at a Hookah Lounge. I definitely would go again. All the other ones I've been to, all were giving like a 30-ish crowd vibe, so put me on to some in Atlanta that's not giving big.
I'm the asshole for falling in love with my best friend and not telling her. My current best friend Audrey has never claimed to be homophobic or transphobic, but still makes rude remarks and jokes about the LGBTQ plus community. I am out as a proud bisexual, and I have been for almost a year now, and she has always been accepting of me, but when it comes to other people, Audrey can be very judgy. Her and I always talk about how weird it would be for me to like any of our close girlfriends, and how I could never see myself with any of them. But recently, I've started to grow feelings for Audrey. Her and I are very close. We hold hands, we're very touchy, and we kiss every once in a while in a joking way. But I've noticed recently that it's felt different. Audrey has said things in the past that she can never be with a girl. If I grew feelings for her, she'd want to know immediately so we could deal with it. but I don't know what that means. I don't want her to drop me for my feelings, but every part of me wants to be with her in more than just a friend way. Should I just say fuck it and tell her, or do I hide it? Please give your advice.